Hi, Chala.
Welcome. It's so nice to
Thank
see you.
you. It's so wonderful to see you. It was great to listen to that last energizing
Yes,
moment. So relate.
you remember it, right?
What I most remember was the fear. And because when I'm in fear, I cannot take an action because I'm frozen in fear. And it doesn't make logical sense to the mind that if I take a step towards something that could change my life, that it could actually turn out, it seems safer to just stay in fear. And that is exactly the opposite. That's why I remember that with you. I remember that very well. I remember our
Oh,
conversation.
Dana, I mean, I'm so glad. So, but before you tell us what you do, just about that, how did you overcome it? Like, how do you overcome that?
I think what you said is so true. It's mindset. And I always say with my mind, it's like a, bad neighborhood. You don't go in there alone. Kind of like your puppy story, there's no way that I can root around in there and come up with a positive. I don't know if that's us as human beings, and I'm a very hopeful person, but when fear takes over, it is so, it's all encompassing. And I think that, and I tend to hold on. I have very tight fists. So what I have this visual imagery that I do about letting go, really opening my hands, because if money stays stuck here, you said it beautifully. If money stays stuck here, then it's not it's not coming through me to you, to me, to you, to me. So I really have learned that if I open my hands and I visualize like, hey, it's all a cycle. It's never mine anyhow. And it's mine to share to the next person, and then the next person to share it with me. It's a cycle. So
It's
really
so
keeping
true.
my mind open.
I love that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that.
It feels better too.
Yeah, I love that. And so Dana, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hello, I'm so glad to be here. I'm Dana Arnett. I'm the co-CEO of Wicked Bionic. We're a multicultural marketing and advertising agency out of Los Angeles. And we have been in business, I think we're in our 6th year. Amazing. They say what is it, that crazy statistic?
Yeah. 5 years, you're gone, right? Yeah.
We made it over that hump. And
awesome. And tell everyone how we met and what made you decide to work with me.
So we met at WeBank, Women's Business Enterprise Network in San Diego, and I had heard of you, right? No, I heard you speak.
Okay.
And that's right. And I remember I was like, she's so dynamic. And because of your corporate background, it appealed to me, right? Because our client isn't every business. It isn't small businesses. We work at a higher level and in government contracting. And I think I knew you understood who our clients were, So I think we ended up having an appointment. I think you gave me like 10 minutes. I got my 10-minute booked into Chala time. And I remember we're sitting outside the bar at lunch, and, it was so great because you asked me a lot of questions that I had never considered about my business. Mm-hmm. I think I was 2 years old in the business, and I knew that we were just running on clients that we had, and we were running out of clients we knew, and you really asked me some very concrete questions about what our plan was. And when I talked to you, I realized we didn't have a plan. That's what happened, right?
So that's what made you decide to get a plan.
Exactly. Because I knew that it wasn't going well the way that it was going. It was not going to go well. So we talked, you had convinced me in your talk with the group that you knew what you're talking about. And I was like, it is the right person, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And that's what you did.
Yes, that's true. Now, talk to me about, because listen, you're a very smart cookie and a marketer. And that I love marketers. I love working with marketers because they get it. They get it so quickly. They get it right away. And you knew, and when it's a marketer who's willing to be led, that means that they're even more, they even understand that they can't see, they're too close. They can't see it themselves. So when you have that, because some marketers see me as like competition. And it's not at all, like we have nothing to do with each other. So
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me about what you think about niching, or what you learned about niching through our work.
Well, I remember, because there are a million marketing and advertising agencies, right? There's just a million. And us in our space, we knew we had something special, but you didn't buy the fact that just because we thought we were special, or we had 30 years of entertainment experience that that was the door opener.
Yeah.
It wasn't. And so it was so important for us to, but we couldn't do it on our own, figure out how to separate ourselves out. And, I remember we took a look at like, okay, who are our existing clients and where we were getting money from. And we thought at the time when we were talking to you, working with you, it was about law firms, and that didn't end up being it. We tried. And, I think that we didn't have the confidence on our own to pick something. And you had said the great thing, kind of jack of all trades, master of none. People don't know that thing to go to you for. They can't go to you for everything, right? And I think we were scared to be one thing, to present ourselves as one thing, because that would negate all the rest. And that wasn't true. It was just a way to market ourselves, right? In a way that was...
Exactly.
Yes. So I remember when we started, and that multicultural marketing, and we were working on a proposal for a big contract with the Los Angeles Department. The city of Los Angeles for their public libraries. And
Right.
we didn't remember, and we didn't know how to craft that proposal. We didn't know how to focus ourselves and answer the questions. And it was really for 73 libraries, this big media campaign to all types of diverse communities throughout the city of Los Angeles. And it was a 3-year contract. We're actually in our 3rd year. Amazingly, I can't believe it. It's gone so well, and we've gotten so much more since. But I think to your point about the niching, it was really being able to focus. And for Carlos and I, that's my business partner, what we determined was, let's focus on what we do really, really, really well. Because what we did really well was different than other people. And then we were able to kind of conceptualize that. And then when you and I worked on the proposal, really get the words out so that it sounded like we knew exactly what they wanted, and we did exactly what they wanted as an agency. And so, it's been, over $2 million contract. It's been, I know, yay for us. Thank you for all that help. It never would have occurred to me. That's the truth.
Wow. So tell me about that. That's the contest you won, right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell them about what that was.
Okay. So in government contracting work, what you end up doing is there's a level playing field when they ask for something. These people wanted media buying campaigns, which is what we do. That means buying advertising on digital, billboards, radio, TV, print, everything, right, to reach their target audiences. So when you write a proposal, you and everybody else that might write a proposal as well, it's a level playing field. A proposal is just submitted, and you really have to figure out a way to stand out from the competition when they're reading it. And I think this is what we did differently when the Los Angeles Public Library read our proposal. I know it is because they told us, is that we focused on who their customer was. Who their customer was. Everybody else was telling them all about themselves. It's kind of like, right? I'm like, and I remember you saying that, like, if you just talk about yourselves, who cares, right? What do they need? You've said it from the beginning as a corporate. What do they need? Not what do I do? So when we got into the final 4, and when we were chosen for the contract, we asked, because it's important to ask why. And we thought, it's got to be because we were cheaper than everybody else. And they said, no, you were the only ones that talked about who we wanted to reach.
Wow, that is such a good story. I'm going to take that and make it a big caption somewhere. I'm going to make it
right.
Honest to God. Yeah. So what advice do you have for people who are niche resistant?
You know what? There isn't a negative to it, because if this is the way I always look at everything now. I look at how people sell to me, what grabs me, what's of interest to me, whether it's in my Facebook feed or on my LinkedIn or whatever. I look at what's of interest to me. And if I read something and it's confusing and there's a laundry list of things that they do, I move on. Because now I might say that I do multicultural marketing, and somebody in LinkedIn is not looking for that. But there might be a day when they say, wow, we're here at Pepsi and we don't even talk to African Americans, or we don't know how to talk to the Hispanic population. We need an agency that does. Yeah. And that day, that ad, that information will come to them. So I know that if I speak to everybody, I'm going to capture none. This is the way I look at it. Can I tell you a quick analogy?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the way I look at niching, is that you can fish in the ocean, right? And you can fish with all the tools that you have and all the talents that you have in your business. And you're going to catch some fish. You don't know what fish, but you're going to catch some fish. But if you start niching down and you start to fish in a lake, you're going to catch some more fish, right? But if you look at catching one particular type of fish, which is with that one thing that you do so concretely, that's who's there in that lake. And you know all about them, you know exactly what they need, and you know exactly how to speak to them. And that's what we have done that has changed, I think really changed. So if you're afraid of it, I think it is, if it's working for you the way it is, keep doing it. If it's not working for you, then it is time to do something differently. And to be known for one thing as the best thing that you do, and you're like not the best kept secret any longer, that's the thing that you go towards.
Awesome. You couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better myself. That is so awesome. Okay. So last question, yes. Dana, if people are undecided about joining this program to figure out their super niche and to learn how to message it and market it and to use it as a leverage, what advice do you have for them if they're undecided?
If not now, then when?
Right.
Because you know, I'm sure you've said this in your talk, you know, over the last few days, you know, the largest number of billionaires were made in down economies. Mm-hmm. And I'm a small business, I'm nowhere near a billionaire, but there is so much opportunity out there. There is so much opportunity, but you have to know how to harness what you've got and give it to people the way that they need to understand it. They can understand it easily. So what I say is, it's not any different for us. And the reason why that we decided to work with you was that I could feel it in my bones. It wasn't going to be any different what I was doing 6 months from now or a year from now. I could see that I didn't have any more game. Yeah. So that, you know, so that time, and the thing about what I liked about you is it wasn't just, you have a very definite process, which is what's great, but it wasn't and we'll leave you then once you've found your niche and you're good. Now you know what you're supposed, you brought to the marketing, which is, it doesn't matter if I have my niche, but if I don't know how to tell the world about it, it does me no good. So what I say is, if not now, then when, you know, it's just worth it. It's just
like a woman of one-liners, Dana.
Is that my day? It's the end of the day here in Los Angeles.
You're like a woman of one-liners. I am so happy you came and visited us. Thank you so much.